All right, let's do this. Um, I'll try not to be slow. I realize that you're probably already done with this, and I also realize that some of you might have gone on Canvas, but I figured actually having the whole opportunity to discuss thing would be better than you just looking at an answer key. So for number one, the first thing you're going to do is find lattice points, and you should have found one right there. And then you should have had to go all the way over here to find another one. Those are the only two. When I see you on the quiz Wednesday, when I'm grading them, I expect to see the lattice points that you've selected. Got it? To make sure that you show me which point you selected. And then from here, I can see that it's uphill and it looks like I go up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that one's quick and easy. Your slope should be positive 3/5. Number two, I don't even really need to do any math. What is the slope when it looks like this? It is 0, right? Okay. Number three, again, I'm going to look for lattice points. I see one here. And again, I have to go pretty far. I see another one, but not till over there. So I'm going to write m equals negative, and I'm going to write my negative sign so I don't forget. And then I'm going to count it out. It's going to be down 1, 2, and then across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2/5 with a negative sign in front of it. All right, number four is kind of like number two. I don't need an explanation or a math. I don't show work. What is the slope? It is undefined. And if that's an issue for you, remember that you can also just write no slope. Either one of those is satisfactory. Okay. Down we go to number five. And again, we're looking for lattice points. And there's a ton of them. So I might just pick like this one and this one since they're right next door neighbors. The slope in this case, I'm going to write negative before I forget. And because it's a 1-to-1 ratio, down one, right one, I'm just going to call that -1. Okay. Don't put -1/1 because we're simplifying everything. Okay. Question number 6, I see, again, they're pretty sparse, the lattice points. I see one here and I see one here. There's just not a ton of them to be had. I know the slope is going to be a positive, and it's going to look like I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a slope of 5/4. Okay, and then number 7 down and to the left looks like it's going to be negative. So I'm going to put my negative sign on there just before I forget. You guys should really do that too. And then count it out. Find lattice points. I see one here. I see one here. I see more, but I might as well just use those two. Even if you picked a different pair of lattice points, you're going to get the same ratio as me. It's down 1 and right 1, 2, 3. So it's negative with a 1/3. Okay. And then for question 8, I see that it's going to be positive, and so I don't need to worry about a negative. And I see lattice points here, here, here. Just pick a couple, doesn't matter. I see that I'm going uphill 1, 2, 3 into the right 1. Do not put 3 over 1 unless you intend to reduce it. Your answer should be 3. Okay. Don't leave anything that can be simplified. Okay. So no like 0 over 4, no 3 over 1, stuff like that. Any questions on page 1? All right, then on we go to page 2. Page 2, there's a lot of part of why I wanted to go through this with you today was just to show you that I expect your work to be here. Okay. So we're going to start with the y's. And when I do y to y subtraction, it's going to look like this: -14 minus -14 over -15 minus 14. You've done enough of these by now to know what's going on. Uh, my first one, the purple, was this -14 minus negative. That's why I wrote plus. And then my second one with the green star next to it is this -15 minus 14. I need to see this on your papers.
We don't have to simplify that.
We are going to finish it for sure. Yes, but I do need to see that work on your paper. Okay. Now from here, Seth, we are going to definitely do the math. So on the top, -14 plus 14 is 0. On the bottom, -15 minus 14 is -29. What is 0 divided by anything? Nope.
Zero.
On this one, we're going to say m equals 0. So your slope on this one should be 0. Any questions there? Good. Okay. On number 10, my top is going to be 5 minus negative 2. My bottom is going to be 2 minus negative 12. Notice I'm not writing minus a negative. We should kind of be past that point where we just know subtraction of a negative becomes plus. And now from here, we're going to math. Top is 7, bottom is 14. My answer is 1/2. Questions there? Okay. On question 11, I'm going to do 7 minus 13 over 4 minus negative 4.
60.
So we're going to get negative 6 over positive 8. And then we're going to fix this, right? We know that if our slope has just one negative in it, that the answer is negative, and it reduces to negative 3/4. There is one right answer to these problems, and you're going to see it on the board today. You're going to see it when you look at the answer key. There are not multiple possibilities for each one. So negative 3/4 it is. For number 12, on the top, I'm going to do 5 minus negative 2. And on the bottom, I'm going to do 6 minus 6. The top is 7. The bottom is 0. What is the slope when the bottom is 0? It is undefined. So you can write undefined, or you can write that there is no slope. What's that clicking? More to the point, could you stop the clicking? Thank you. So for your notes, remember 0 on top is 0, 0 on bottom is undefined. For number 13, it's going to be 9 minus 4 on top, negative 4 minus 1 on bottom. And then I math. I haven't mathed yet, but now I'm going to. 9 minus 4 is 5. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. And what's 5 over 5? So it's negative 1. How are we doing so far? Okay, number 14, rinse and repeat. Top is 1 minus negative 7. Bottom is 7 minus 5. 1 plus 7 is 8. 7 minus 5 is 2. What's the slope? 4. Okay. There will not be this many of these on the actual quiz, by the way. Okay. There will be on the next practice quiz today. But the quiz, I won't need 10 of these to know if you know what you're doing. I'll need like 6, maybe
7.
6 or 7. Yeah, something like that. As we work through this, you have to ask yourself, how do people miss this? And it happens all the time. It's just so repetitive. I don't get it, never will. But it's negative 4 minus negative 8 over negative 12 minus 0. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4. Negative 12 minus 0 is negative 12. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 4/12 reduces to 1/3. So repetitive. So rinse and repeat. It's just over and over again. Number 16, my top is going to say negative 11 minus negative 1. Every time I say minus negative, I'm writing plus. Over 11 minus 0. And then I math. Negative 11 plus 1 is negative 10. And then 11 minus 0 is 11. Your slope in this case is just negative 10/11. Sometimes you can't really reduce. You just get what you get. Bless you. Okay, the last couple on this page, thank goodness, we're going to do 10 minus negative 10 over 11 minus negative 3. And you math. 10 plus 10 is 20. 11 plus 3 is 14. Those can both be divided by 2, leaving us with a final answer of 10 over 7. And then the last one on this page, number 18, is 10 minus regular 5 over negative 1 minus regular 3. And again, you math. 10 minus 5 is 5. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. A positive divided by a negative overall is a negative, and 5/4 cannot be simplified. So we just leave it as a negative. 5/4. Good. All right, the last page. I feel like we had a lot of conversations about this last week, but I just want to make sure and do my job and make sure we're all on the same page. For every problem, we're going to make one of these. We're going to make an XY table like this. What kind of numbers? I'm not asking for the numbers. What kind of numbers do we have to pick for problem 19? Jojo? Perfectly spoken. I need numbers that are divisible by 4. To stay within the realm of this particular graph, that means I could only use -4, 0, and +4. Okay. This is where I expect that there'll be some questions. So please feel free to ask. Yes, sir.
Couldn't use -2, 0, 2.
You wouldn't want to use -2 because if you try what I'm about to show you, let me show you where I'm going with this. So we're doing -5/4 of x like this. What you're going to do is you're going to fish hook the number that goes in this blank is going to divide by 4 and then multiply by 5. Got it? So that's why you want to make sure that whatever number you put in the space when you go to divide it by 4 will work. 2 divided by 4 is 0.5. You don't want that. The only numbers that you can divide by 4 are 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, right? So that's why I don't want to pick anything like 2 or 6 or 10 or anything like that. So the first number in my table was a -4. So if I put a -4 right there, overall, a negative times a negative is a positive. What's 4 divided by 4? 1 times 5. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. So that means that I can put a 5 in my table like that. Okay, going back to the other page now. If I change this into a 0, I don't really need a math degree for this one. What's anything times 0? 0. So I can just fill that in with a 0. And then the last one is 4. If I change this number into a 4, holistically, when you look at this problem, this is a negative times a positive, which is a negative. And once you say negative, then you can just fishhook it and don't worry about the negatives. What's 4 divided by 4? 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Therefore, the answer is -5. Do you have issues or questions about that? Now it's time to go and plot those 3 points. They should look like they make a straight line. If they don't, then something has gone wrong. So -4, 5 is left 4 up 5. I'm going to put a dot there. 0, 0 is right in the middle. 4, -5 is right 4 down 5. And those do look like they make a line. So remember when you make your lines on the quiz Wednesday or on the practice quiz later today that you are going to make sure that your line protrudes out both ends of the grid and that it has arrowheads on both sides like this. Okay. Good, good. All right, question 20 is a little bit more open-ended because there's no fraction for me to contend with. So I don't have to stress on problem 20 as far as what can it be divisible by. I'm just going to pick my own numbers. I think I would do -1. We can do 0, and I'm going to do like 5. Okay.
1 on 1.
We can do 1 also. There might be someone in the room right now who says, well, why not 3? And I'd say, well, we can do 3 also, right? This one is a lot more open-ended, so you can pick more freely. The only thing that's going to hold us back here is, first off, we don't want to pick x's that are outside of -6 and 6. That right out of the gate would be really dumb because we can only go left 6 and right 6. But we also have to be cognizant of the fact that if we pick something that gives us an answer that goes too high or too low, then we've chosen poorly, right? So we can do all of these. And all we're doing on this one is 2 times a number -4. So let's knock them out one by one. What's 2 times -1? -2 minus 4, -6. Done. Put in 3. What's 2 times 3? 6 minus 4, 2. Put in 0. 2 times 0, 0 minus 4. 2 times 5, 10 minus 4. And then Seth's number 1. 2 times 1, 2 minus 4. Those are all excellent points, okay? You don't need to do 5. Three is usually a good rule of thumb. If you can get three, that's usually pretty safe. So -1, -6 is left one down six. 3, 2 is right three up two. 0, 4 is just down four. 5, 6 is right five up six. And 1, -2 is right one down two. And those look pretty good to me. To save time, I am not going to graph the line. I trust you know how to use a ruler, so I'm going to move on to the next problem. Okay. Number 21 is a restriction problem because it's got a fraction. So again, I need to be aware of what I'm doing here. What kind of numbers do I need?
2, 0, -2.
Anything that's divisible by two, right? And so if you want to stay really close to home, you could definitely do 2, 0, and -2. You could also branch out a little bit and do like -6. Sometimes getting a little further away is never a bad idea. So we're doing 1/2 of whatever number we say plus one. So it looks like this: 1/2 of whatever number we say plus one. So let's start with -2. What does the multiplication part give me? I really need you to be a part of this. I mean, just because I feel like sometimes I'm talking to myself. What is the answer to the gold box? It is -1. And what's -1 plus one? Good. So I can go back now and put in a 0 next to -2. Okay, let's do the same thing this time, but with 0, or with, excuse me, regular 2. What's 1/2 times 2? One, 1/2 of 2 is 1, right? And then 1 plus 1 is 2. If you put in 0, the gold box just equals 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. And we might as well do -6. If you put -6 in there, what's 1/2 times -6? What's -3 plus 1? There you go. So there's some good dots. If you graph your dots and they don't look like a line, then your job is to figure out where you did the boof, right? And so I'm going to go right 2 up 2, just up 1, left 2, up 0, and then left 6, down 2. Those look pretty darn good to me. Okay. 22 is another unrestricted problem. I pretty much have the freedom to pick whatever I want. Again, within bounds, but I mean, there's no fraction constraints here. So if I were doing this problem, I would probably pick 6, 0, and like -3. I like my x's to be as spread out as I can, just so my points are far apart from each other. So the equation is saying to take the opposite of whatever we give it and then add 2. That's literally what negative means, is opposite. And so if I take the opposite of 6, I get -6, and -6 plus 2 is -4. The opposite of 0 is 0 plus 2 is 2. What's the opposite of -3? 3 plus 2 is 5. Yeah. Those are some great, nice spread out points. So right 6 down 4, stay put up 2, left 3 up 5. And again, those look pretty dang good. If you get 3 points that are in a line, the chances of them being wrong is pretty slim. You'd have to make the same mistake like two or three times. So, all right, 2 more problems. Number 23. What am I restricted to here? Yeah, I'm restricted to numbers that are divisible by 5, right? And on this particular size of a graph, that is -5, 0, and 5. You're not going to find anybody else that works for this. You could do whatever you want, but you're going to get some ugly decimals, and people complain about that kind of stuff. So it's saying to take -3/5 of whatever we give it and take away 3. So it's -3/5 of x minus 3. -3/5 of input number minus 3. The first number I had in my table was -5. What is the answer to the gold box? What is the answer to the gold box? You have to do this by yourself. I'm not interested in what the answer is on your paper because we did this on Thursday. I want to know you can reproduce this process when I change the numbers. What is the answer to the gold box? It is not -3. What is the answer to the gold box? It is +3 because it's a negative times the negative, which is a positive. And when you fish hook the numbers, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 1 times 3 is 3. And +3 minus 3, again, you will have to do this all by yourself, equals 0. If we put in 0, I don't really need to show any work on this one because the answer to this part right here is, of course, just 0, and 0 minus 3 is, well, -3. Okay, let's show work on one more of these. We have -3/5 times 5. So if I change this number inside to a +5, now what's the answer to the gold box? Yes, -3, right? Stop answering what just is on your paper. I'm interested in the process because, again, I know we did these together. What is the answer to the gold box? Because, again, if you're just reading answers off your practice quiz to me, that doesn't lend itself to you doing well on Wednesday. The answer to this golden box is a negative, and fishhook it. 5 divided by 5 is 1 times 3 is 3. That's why it's -3. And then take away 3 more, and you get -6. It's the danger of doing those problems together. And then the last problem, oh, I should probably graph these. -5, 0 is right here. 0, -3 is right here, and 5, -6 is right here. And again, those look pretty darn linear to me. Last one, restricted or not? Nah, it's just restricted in the sense that the multiplying by -4 is going to make numbers get pretty big. So we do have to be aware of that. I'll definitely use 0. -2 is going to be a problem. -1 is good. -2 is going to give us a problem because it's going to spit out a 9. And I'm not sure if there's even any more.
Yeah, +1.
+1 will work. I believe it's the last one that will actually work. Yes, to stay on the grid. I think that's right. So if we put in 0 and we just put it right here where I'm wiggling my pen, where there's that little arrow pointing, what's -4 times 0? It's 0, and 0 plus 1 is nice. And then if I put in -1 where the little red arrow is pointing, what's -4 times -1? And 4 plus 1 is 5. And then if I put in a 1 where the little red arrow is pointing, what's -4 times 1? What's -4 times 1? -4 plus 1 is -3. So I'm going to go graph these points and hope for the best. 0, 1 is right here. -1, 5 is up here. 1, -3 is down here. And again, those look pretty good. Okay. So you're going to redo this another practice quiz today. And then I'm just, like I said, I'm giving you tomorrow basically as a tidy up kind of day. Ask any questions you have. If there's any type of problem that you're struggling with, it could be a day where you say like, hey, can I get some more of these or some more of these? I need to practice on this or that. Okay. All right, cool. Well, it's just going to be what it's been every other time. I'm going to do that minus that and write that down. So 0 minus 10. And then I'm going to do this minus this and write that down. And it's going to be 0 minus -20. Right? Same every time. 0 minus 10 is -10. 0 plus 20 is 20. A positive and a negative, when there's one of each in a fraction, just make the overall fraction negative, and 10/20 reduces to 1/2. So that's it. Does that help you, Jojo? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Are -2, 3, and 4, 5. So my top is going to be this and this. So 5 minus 3. My bottom is going to be this and this. So 4 minus -2. Still good? Okay. And then the top 5 minus 3 is +2. The bottom 4 plus 2 is +6. So the slope is positive, but 2 and 6 need to be reduced to 1/3. Good? Cool.